this is her poem, Ballad of Orange and Grape. After you finish your work, after you do your day, after you've read your reading, after you've written your say, you go down the street to the hot dog stand, 1 block down and across the way, on a blistering afternoon in East Harlem in the 20th century. Most of the windows are boarded up, the rats run out of a sack, sticking out of the crummy garage, 1 shiny long Cadillac. At the glass door of the drug addiction centre, a man who'd like to break your back. But here's a brown woman with a little girl dressed in rose and pink too. Frankfurters, sizzle on the steel where the hot dog man leans, nothing else on the counter but the usual 2 machines. The grape one, empty, and the orange one, empty. I face him in between. A black boy comes along, looks at the hot dogs, goes on walking. I watch the man as he stands and pours in the familiar shape, bright purple in the one marked orange. Orange in the one marked grape. The grape drink in the machine marked orange, and orange drink in the grape. Just the one word, large and clear, unmistakable on each machine. I asked him, how can we go on reading and make sense out of what we read? How can they write and believe what they're writing, the young ones across the street, while you go on pouring grape in orange, and orange into the one marked grape? How are we going to believe what we read and we write and we hear and we say and we do? He looks at the 2 machines and he smiles and he shrugs and smiles and pours again. It could be violence and non-violence. It could be white and black, women and men. It could be war and peace, or any binary system, love and hate, enemy, friend. Yes and no, be and not be, what we do and what we don't do. On a corner in East Harlem, garbage, reading, a deep smile, rape, forgetfulness, a hot street of murder, misery, withered hope. A man keeps pouring grape into orange, and orange into the one marked grape, pouring orange into grape, and grape into orange forever. And this one I performed last night at Bairusu. This is from what was called a one-shot journal, the Hasty Papers. There was only ever 1 edition published in 1960. It went to about 1,000 people, the rest burned in a warehouse. But it got a who's who of writers, playwrights, artists, even people like Fidel Castro and Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the atom bomb, wrote for it. And this is from a guy I'd never heard before called Meyer Leben. And it was a long prose poem piece divided into what, where, when, who and why. And I'm going to do the last part of it. It's called Why, because it just lends itself to performance. Why? For love, narcissistic or object choice. For money, kush, dinero, the long green, dough, the swag, the do-re-mi, the wherewithal, spondylix, currency of the realm, legal tender, the finfur, the sawbuck, the consumptive dime, the whorish juice, the noble century, out of pique, disappointment, out of revenge, the long-forgotten slights, sighs. Sorry, I have to scroll back up. I'm getting this off Google Books. The long slice of the ear, even further up. In the war canoe, why, against the infantile interjections, the coupling parents of the threatening sibling, out of remorse, spontaneously, in a trance, I swear, Judge, I don't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. Out of cold and crafty design, in the heat of a passion never felt before or after, in the name of the Lord. Out of bitterness, just for spite, casually, for no reason at all, under orders, from the hidden bureaucratic reaches, for a lark, gaily, merrily, under duress, just be quiet and you won't get hurt. Ceremonially, for reasons of state, the proper thing to do, been done this way for 300 years and I don't see any reason for changing now. Traditionally, the old school tie, in the name of the people, in the name of the state, in the name of the revolutionary tribunal, in the name of the king, in the name of the law, perversely. Just because. Why? Just because. That's why. No reason. Just because. Just because. Why? Just because. Oh, you're absolutely hopeless. Why am I hopeless? Why do I have to give a reason? Why? Why? For family reasons. Blood is thicker than mud. Kinship, the real McCoys and the Hatfields, the bloody feuds slumbering in the familial unconscious, in the incest-ridden mountains. Because of competitive conditions in the industry, out of party loyalty, for fractional reasons, to reassure in his official capacity in obedience to ordinance, because it says so in the Torah, on grounds of disloyalty, for personal gain, self and pelf, for charitable purposes, because two can live as cheaply as one, because the brake failed, the tyre blew, the engineer passed out, the gas was used up, the stove was faulty, the foundation was insecure, the deadly fumes unaccountably escaped, because the ground was dry and the wind was strong, because the undertow was powerful, because he overestimated his own strength, because the shark was hungry, because the tub was slippery, because the wire was changed, because the step was faulty, the nail was rusty, because the germ was ingenious, because the arteries were clogged, from natural causes, from unknown causes, because of despondency, due to illness, financial losses, death of a dear one, political hopelessness, continued failure, a small fame which refused to spread, love lack. Because he was paid to do it. What's in it for me? For his parents' sake, for his wife's sake, for his children's sake, to bring his name to the attention of as many people as is humanly possible, for the sake of posterity. What's posterity done for me? To reach a certain eye, for his teacher's sake, for his own sake, for God's sake, for kicks, for the adulation of the crowd, to get closer to the desired sexual object, because it was the thing he wanted most of all. Because he was in it, and what else is there to say? Because of a stray meeting on a street whose name has been changed, because of a roguish pair of eyes, because of the glimpse of a white bosom, a dark thigh, for compelling reasons, because there was no alternative, in order to get into his good graces, just to make contact, because the door was open, because the train was late, because the bill was in error, because the sky was blue, because the shoe needed shining, because the phone was out of order, because the shadow inclined to the east, because the coin was heads, because it was his lucky day, the seventh son of the seventh day of Venice, born in the seventh inning, because he felt on, because the stagger system with 4 seconds off because he didn't have any change in him, because the gent who preceded him on the barber chair was syphilitic, because the wind was blowing north, because the local came in before the express, because there was standing room only, because he got out of bed on the wrong side, because the wrong bus came up, because of a dividing footfall, a far off sound.